Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for another episode of Death Battle. This time we have Ganondorf, the Demon King of Hyrule from Legend of Zelda versus Dracula, I want to say Vampire Lord from Castlevania. I'm not that familiar with Castlevania, so I hope that's at least close. Anyway, now as I should say before every reaction, especially Rooster content, please click the link in the description below. Go watch the original video before you watch mine or anyone else's reaction, whether it be on YouTube or Rooster's website. Like, subscribe, sign up for first membership if you like. Best way to support like Rooster Teeth or any of the shows that are on there. All that stuff. Watch the original, then come back to watch this. Okay? Good. Support the official release. I keep feeling like that changes every single time, but meh. Anyway, so how do I know these two? Well, let's start with Dracula. He's a boss in Smash Brothers. And that's all I'm really familiar with him as of that, just... Well, and I've seen this request, like, thrown around a lot, so that's really all I know Dracula from. As for Ganondorf, I really enjoy the Legend of Zelda games, although that being said, the only ones I've played all the way through are Ocarina of Time, Phantom Hourglass, and Breath of the Wild, especially Breath of the Wild. Love that game so much, along with Ocarina. Like, those two especially are, like, my two favorites. I want to say Breath of the Wild is ahead of Ocarina, though. But, again, it's a tough call. Anyway, so, familiar with Ganon and all the stuff he can do... With Ganondorf, sorry. And all the stuff he can do. He was in a previous Death Battle against Bowser from Mario, and he won. Did not end well for Bowser. Anyway, so... Spoiler. That's been out for a few years, so I think it's fine. So, if we're talking who do I like more, it's Ganondorf, and I would prefer him to win. I don't know if he will, though, because I hear conflicting stuff about Dracula, so I don't know. I mean, if you saw the last podcast, then you know, well, a friend of mine, Joe, is very hopeful that Ganondorf will win. For his sake, I hope he does. But again, I don't know. I'm also fine with Dracula winning. Like, I'm not that fussed. Especially considering, well, they're both villains. Like, whoever loses, the world they come from wins. For a while, because from what I know, like, even... Okay, the other thing I know about Dracula is that he can come back through some manner after being defeated. Just like Ganondorf. So, the world will be fine for, like, a generation or so. I don't know. Anyway, I've rambled enough, and, oh! Should mention this. For those who, for some reason, don't know, this whole fight is animated in Source Filmmaker by a few, YouTube animators, including Devil Artemis, who, if you don't know, does a Cell Versus series inspired by Team 4-Star. It's just brilliant. I highly recommend watching any of those videos. Oh, they're great. Anyway. So, I am looking forward to the animation especially. So, with that being said, the episode is out by now. Alright. I will shut up and hit play.
Fame may be fleeting, and wealth ephemeral, but true evil never dies. it just comes back with a goddamn second health bar.
Pretty much.
The calamitous demon king of Princess Zelda's Hyrule.
And Dracula, the everlasting vampire lord of Castlevania. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Oh, I didn't say this, but if you don't know, the research team did like this video where top 10 most wanted death battles. This matchup was number 1. So I'm very happy for them that they're getting the most wanted matchup.
By being, murdered, Demise cursed the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero to be forever haunted by his wrath-made flesh. That curse became Ganondorf Dragmire.
Good old Dorf was born to the Gerudo tribe.
He has a surname?
The Gerudo were
I actually didn't know that.
Was the first male born in 100 years, which automatically made him their king. Because reasons, I guess.
Okay, I gotta quote Max's reaction to Bowser v. Ganon. How do they breed?
That's my dream come true. Who could want more?
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Jealous of the neighboring kingdom of Hyrule's verdant fields, clean water, and not being a godforsaken desert, he dreamed of a better world for his people.
Or, just for himself. Being the reincarnation of ultimate evil means you're probably kind of a selfish douche.
And
yeah, probably.
His vile ambitions would be rewarded. Turns out, he was also preternaturally adept at magic, as befits an education from his caretakers,
Makes
the
sense.
witches Karume and
Yep,
Kotake.
those two.
From them, Dorf learned to pitch balls of electricity, summon lightning, move objects with telekinesis, levitate, form barriers, and control minds.
When he wishes to fight from a distance, he can create phantom horsemen or puppets of himself to battle as his proxies.
Or if he wants to get personal, he can use his dark magic to enhance his physical strikes.
Boom!
Badass at all ranges.
That move is so satisfying when you land it, but
sometimes on horseback.
a pain in the ass to actually pull
Two
off.
swords on 2 horsebacks?
Oh, let's not get crazy. He was just a man, after all, though.
But what is a man? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Complete, Ganondorf put his greatest skill to the test, his raw cunning. By manipulating the rulers of Hyrule and its neighboring domains, as well as a curiously familiar boy in green.
Hey, what do you know? Weird coincidence.
Ganondorf gained entry to an alternate dimension called the Sacred Realm. Within it lay the Triforce, a magical artifact left by the gods said to grant the wish of whomever touches it.
The perfect solution to all your world-conquering needs.
And I've heard it's even failed to kill Ganon and Demise.
Those golden Doritos, 2 of them jumped ship.
See, only someone with a perfect balance of courage, wisdom, and power can wield the complete Triforce. If someone with an imbalance between those 3 virtues touches it, it splits. In this case, the pieces of wisdom and courage went to Ganondorf's enemies, Princess Zelda and the hero Link.
Ah, that's embarrassing. But he did get to keep the Triforce of Power, because who needs the courage and wisdom shit when you can just blow stuff up? That's how I live.
Even on its
Well,
own,
I mean, considering the courage and wisdom went over it, but anyway.
Prowess, while also elevating him from a mere warlock to the demon king he was always meant to be.
A giant demon pig.
Literally, he could turn into a big blue pig monster.
The dark beast known simply as Ganon is a nearly unstoppable terror, gaining even greater strength without sacrificing any of his intellect.
As a bacon wizard, he can obliterate
Bacon wizard?
fireballs, turn invisible, teleport, summon darkness, and even distort the space around him.
Despite all that power and even successfully ruling Hyrule for 7 years, Ganondorf was soundly defeated and sealed within the Sacred Realm.
Not
There
killed,
he
though.
remained, trapped outside the spaces of reality,
Just saying.
a prisoner to the void.
Even though the Master Sword was stabbed through his freaking head.
Sorry. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Yeah, no, he got out like the next day.
So
Wow.
holds Ganon back for long, and he's insanely tough to kill. In fact, thanks to his part of the Triforce, he's almost indestructible. While most weapons can technically harm him, it usually takes a holy weapon like the Master Sword or light arrows to put him down.
He once survived being crushed within his own castle, which, based on its size and composition here, and accounting for the hollowed-out interior, should weigh over 11,000 tons.
Damn, Ganon.
He later withstood a different castle exploding around him. Wow, some of this guy in castles.
By measuring the size of the in-game castle model and assuming violent fragmentation, we can determine it was a blast worth almost 2 kilotons of TNT.
Wow.
A yield comparable to early atomic bombs. And even though holy weapons can bypass his defenses, he still survived being stabbed in the face with the Master Sword.
Right?
You know, the literal blade of evil's bane.
Or like when he was impaled through the chest by one of the sages after he was supposedly sealed away. He just yanked that shit right out and murdered the bastard that did it to him.
Did you just say bastard again?
Stab me again, and that's what's happening to you.
Right. Well, Ganondorf isn't just tough. He's powerful enough to punch shockwaves, tear up an island, and block out the sky with his magical malice.
Plus, he can keep up with Link. He's even killed him in one timeline. And this fairy boy can dodge Beamos lasers.
Which are literal lasers. They move in a straight line, burn instead of exploding, and according to the game's guidebook, are called lasers.
So they're
they
using
move
those.
at light speed.
I wonder if that means they'll use the Hyrule Encyclopedia
Relative to
then.
this beam, we can estimate his own reaction speed to be about
I mean,
11% the
makes
speed
sense.
of light.
Too bad old Dorf Lundgren doesn't get to hold on to Hyrule for too long. Still, you can stab and seal him away all you want. This big pork bastard will always be back.
Oh, I am looking forward to that sequel. Okay, they're using this again to close his analysis.
In the world
Alright, then.
of Castlevania, the universe
Then again, I
is
don't know
governed
what
by
other
two
scene you would
opposing
use.
Forces, order and chaos.
Hey, it's like you and me, Wiz.
No, I mean literally. As legend goes, for God to be good, there must be an equal force of evil to create balance. An evil found in an alternate dimension called the Chaotic Realm. This is chaos.
But to keep his spot in the balance on Earth, Chaos needed to choose a Dark Lord to represent him. A Dark Messiah, if you will. As luck would have it, a perfect candidate would end up choosing him.
In the 11th century, Matthias Kronkvist was the strategic mastermind behind a company of knights, alongside fellow commander and best friend, Leon Belmont.
But
Hey,
as
Belmont.
most bromances, it got screwed up by a homance.
Boomstick, have some tact. His wife died from a horrible illness.
Was it
Ouch.
third wheeling? I'm sorry, Wiz, but you can already tell this guy is evil because his name is Math. I mean, I know we use math all the time to do this show, but sometimes one must embrace the darkness to see the light.
Right. Anyway,
Okay
Matthias'
then,
death was so
Boomstick.
intense, he swore vengeance on God himself. To achieve his vengeance, Matthias sought the powers of God's polar opposite, chaos.
So he set up an easy 6-step plan. Step 1.
Are those
pick up a
Wiz's
red rock
broken
called the
glasses
Crimson
from
Stone. It'll
Black
be
Widow
more
vs.
later.
Widowmaker?
Step 2. Force Death itself to become your personal secretary. Step
Yeah.
3. Kill Luigi. Step 4. convince
Why
his
Luigi?
wife, Walter to kill Leon's fiance, cause misery loves company. Step 5. Let Leon murder poor Walt and have Death shove his soul into that red rock. Step 6. Congratulations. You are now a vampire. Goth kids, I hope you were paying attention.
From that day forth,
I wasn't
Matthias
entirely.
rejected his humanity.
Isn't that
He
Dio?
became a vampire, and much more. He was the Dark Lord, Dracula.
There have been a lot of different versions of Dracula over the years, but this one isn't your run-of-the-mill, I want to suck your blood type. This Dracula is the avatar of chaos on Earth, the opposite to God. So, like, the devil. He's basically the devil.
He didn't have much time to enjoy his new powers, though, as his former friend Leon swore revenge, a vow which would carry on throughout generations.
But good luck taking down this all-new and improved Vampire Lord. He's got your standard vampire loadout like blood-sucking, flight, razor-sharp claws, telekinesis, and even tripping balls teleportation.
Jesus!
He exert his influence over all living things, whether it be mind control, body possession, or absorbing the souls and abilities of fallen enemies through his power of dominance.
Absorbing
like
souls,
Kirby.
eh?
A demonic monster, Kirby.
Right, Kirby. Also, Dracula can shapeshift to his black heart's desire, like into a swarm of bats, a cloud of mist, and a wolf. Oh, I get it. The opposite to God, because he's a dog, just like the way Alucard is Dracula backwards. God, I should do science.
I actually never noticed
Master
that.
Sorcerer, able to summon fireballs, meteors, and acid blood rain from the sky. Dark Inferno is a huge
The
ball of
Dracula
light that will
Alucard
fly
thing, I never noticed that.
and he can revitalize himself with another's life energy via Soul Steal.
Then there's his most powerful attack, a localized nuke of holy magic, the demonic.
That's getting me
Beetle.
to think that he's gonna
All
win.
these powers, it's no wonder Europe trembled at his presence for centuries, though perhaps their fears were unfounded.
Yeah, despite being living chaos or whatever, Dracula was sometimes a pretty chill guy. He even got himself married and had a kid. then again, kids are also the embodiment of chaos.
Sadly, the people of a nearby church grew suspect of his wife,
I
accusing her
think
of
I heard
witchcraft.
something like that. Yeah.
So they burned her at the stake, and Dracula
Jesus.
swore vengeance upon the god they followed as...
Wait. Did he just get a total repeat of his backstory? Man, this guy can't catch a break.
He was even forced to battle multiple descendants of Belmont, many of whom would actually defeat him.
Well, sort of. Turns out Dracula is a much tougher vampire to kill than lame old Walter.
Even after losing his entire body, Dracula's soul remained tethered to chaos. Thus, he would be resurrected every 100 years.
When he wants to go all out, he can draw from the power of the chaotic realm and transform into one of many awesome monsters. Like a giant demon, a giant
Okay, that's the
demon,
one I remember
a
from
giant
Smash.
demon head, and a giant demon head in a painting that vomits out bats.
Okay
Dracula
then.
can punch hard enough to rend
That one's
stone,
weird.
move quick enough to catch arrows out of thin air, and even warp the fabric of reality itself.
He's tough enough to survive a lightning strike, get blasted by an enormous meteor, and even get crushed under the
Oh,
weight
boy.
of his fortress, aka the Castlevania.
By measuring the size of Castlevania on the game's official art, we know it should weigh around 2 million tons. Even then, Dracula has regenerated his body from decapitation, a mess of blood, and even full-on disintegration.
So how the hell does he keep getting killed by everyone from Discount Conan to the Ghost of
Hey,
Christmas
Simon.
Past?
Naturally, with the help of holy weapons, which
Yep.
Dracula is certainly not a fan of.
Also, even when he's turned his body into some misty vape clouds, he keeps his head vulnerable. Because video games.
Or
Pretty much.
precisely his hubris. Dracula's blatant arrogance would lead to his ultimate downfall, allowing his enemies to sever his connection to the chaotic realm and thus end his cycle of resurrections. So instead, he was reincarnated.
Into a white-haired anime boy with the power of friendship. Soma Cruz, who turned out to be just as powerful as Dracula Classic, like when he dodged beams of light or when he defeated chaos itself.
Dracula's influence and power would
Yep,
never
I'm
truly
thinking
end.
Dracula's gonna win.
Even 10,000 years into the future,
Sorry,
his
Ganon.
bloodline continues to strike terror into the hearts of men. As long as good and evil exist,
Hold up, that's his kid? What the hell happened to him?
no ordinary man can stand up to the incredible force that is the Dark Lord Dracula.
But what is a man? Pause. Okay. So, from what I gathered, honestly, Dracula just seems more powerful. Like, the whole, like, warping reality, his castle was heavier than Ganon's. Also, the, soul steal. I feel like maybe Dracula could use that and bypass Ganon's whole, like, only vulnerable to holy weapons thing. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to side with Dracula on this one, in terms of who I think will win. I would still prefer if Ganon won, just because I'm more familiar with him. So, yeah. But hey, this way, either way, I win. Because if Dracula wins, I called the result right. If Ganon wins, the character I prefer wins. Okay. So, I'm just going to resume. Play. Right, the combatants are set, and we run the data through all possibilities. It's time for our death battle! I've been looking forward to seeing this. I mean, I've seen the preview on the cast, as always. That is gangster. Just punch the giant doors. The castle is lost, vampire. No man can challenge my power. But what is a man? A miserable pile of secrets. Sorry, I'll stop. Boom! I will say when it's 100% blind, like I always do. I love that line. Bitch slap! Ganon, you've got one hell of a fight ahead of you. And from here on, 100% blind.
Your tricks mean nothing.
Yeesh. Ow. Oh, you're breaking out already! You haven't already gone like... Oh, okay, no, he hasn't. Well, because I know Beast Ganon and, like, Monster Dracula are going to come out and fight each other at some point. Like, they have to. Dead man's volley, dead man's volley, dead man's volley. And he's gonna come back. Because he can. Oh, shit. Ooh. Beast Ganon. Yep. Here we go! Oh, hell yeah, I'm so happy it's that model. This fight is so fucking good! Get it? Oh, yep. Dracula's won.
You're right. You're not a man. You're a pig. Let me hear you squeal.
Oh, shit! That final line! Oh. God damn! Holy shit!
You know, I hope someday I can learn to drink beers as violently as Dracula drinks people.
There was a lot going on here. Both Ganondorf and Dracula...
Also, what the hell happens to the
only a
Triforce?
small percent difference when compared to the speed of light. They were both brilliant schemers who have perfectly manipulated many intelligent foes, and their standard magical arsenals seem pretty comparable overall.
But Dracula did have a leg up with a few extra magic powers that Ganondorf just didn't have. Like how he could rip out his soul in a bunch of different ways. That's something Ganondorf never really had to guard against before. Also, remember how Ganondorf survived an explosion worth about 2 kilotons of TNT?
An admirable feat, to be sure, but let's look at that meteor strike Dracula survived.
There it is.
Based on its size, composition, and speed of ablation, it must have struck with an energy equivalent to 2 megatons of TNT.
Jesus.
1,000 times greater than Ganondorf's proven durability.
But hey, I know what you're thinking. What about that sage sword Ganondorf had? Shouldn't he have had an easy time killing Drac since it's a holy weapon?
In some circumstances, sure. Running this fight over
There you
and
go.
over times,
See?
Ganondorf would certainly score a few victories.
See, Ganon can
When
win.
considering Dracula's absurd regenerative abilities, it would take more than just a few hits from a holy weapon to finish him off. Not to mention, Dracula also wielded a holy weapon that took advantage of Ganondorf's weakness in the form of demonic Megiddo. Yeah, I know it's called demonic, so it seems weird, but it is explicitly described to be holy magic.
Oh, that's what that
Only
was.
Ganondorf was a way more powerful victory move than trying to hit Dracula with a sword. And that's really what this came down to. Power.
Despite literally wielding the Triforce of Power, Ganondorf's potential paled in comparison to the energy Dracula drew from chaos. Let's put this in perspective.
The Triforce of Power comes from the goddess Din, who made the Earth. While we don't know the exact amount of power Din put in this piece, let's just highball it and directly compare it to her.
So the energy attributed to the Triforce of Power could be compared to the size and energy of a planet. However, the Chaotic Realm is an entire universe, completely upheld by the power of the Chaos Entity. That is leagues greater than the power Ganondorf possessed.
So it definitely
Okay.
had a lot more juice to give.
Try thinking of the Chaotic Realm and the Triforce of Power as batteries, which fuel Dracula and Ganon's abilities. Compared to each other, Dracula would be drawing energy from something like a car battery, while Ganondorf's would be more akin to a small AA.
Wiz, I'll give you $5 if you lick that battery.
Ganondorf certainly held his own, but Dracula's more
Random.
varied magic, greater regeneration, and enormous reserves of power sealed this desert warlock's fate.
Of all the ways to go, that must have sucked. The Big Pig's chances were slim to none.
The winner is Dracula.
Congrats, Dracula.
Did you know we've got a card and dice dueling game?
I have my copy. I got it at RTX. It's fun.
Just don't eat the dice. They look like candy.
Don't eat them. Trust me.
Click the link below.
Not that I have,
Battle game
because I'm not a
right
moron.
now.
Alright, what's next? I will talk about that in a second. Okay. Oh my god, that fight. It's like, Jesus. Like, that was brutal. So much was happening. Oh my god, it was amazing. I think I would have to say this is the best 3D fight of the season. Because, holy shit, dude. Also, not gonna lie, at the end, I thought Ganondorf was gonna make a comeback because it like showed like his hand where the Triforce should be, and I thought, oh, he's gonna pull back, but then nope. So yeah, but still a crazy and awesome fight, and I know a lot you might be thinking, and especially a friend of mine who may be watching this. Okay, they mentioned Ganon can win in some circumstances, sorry. So there's that. But also, my friend Joe has brought up the Triforce as a whole is meant to be, omnipotent. But then again, that's like the whole Triforce and not just one piece, which is all Ganon has. But, yeah, and even if we go by that and say, oh, let's say it's universal, just like Dracula's magic, I still think the result would be the same, just because of Dracula having more abilities, and the whole, like, holy fire thing, and ways he could theoretically survive, like the Sage's sword, but can still win. So, yeah. And that death, Jesus Christ. And just that line, like, you're not a man, you're a pig, and I want to hear you squeal. Oh, Jesus. Like that's also going to be, like, the most, like, brutal death this season, too. Like, I would say probably, like, well, I mean, best death, really. Like, I'd say it's definitely up there with Lobo's. Anyway, so the next time, Mob versus Tatsumaki. I think that's how you pronounce their name. I have literally no clue who these people are. Like, wasn't it Mob Psycho? Like, from the same person who made One Punch Man? Isn't that it? Like, I forget. But yeah, I'm really not familiar with these two, so like the best I can say is like, wasn't this a 1 minute melee? I really just don't know. So yeah, that's all I can really say. Sorry, but anyway, if you want to hear me talk about this death battle and maybe the next one in a bit more detail, I do the podcast, Let's Discuss Death Battle, alongside Jaru and Jedi Bender. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Should hopefully be recording that next week. And, yeah. I'm gonna go because I have nothing else I think I can say. I'm not sure. Oh, wait, there is one thing. Sorry. So if you live in the UK, then you're probably aware that there's an event going on, well, next week, the week after this comes out, called MCM London Comic Con. And I will be attending it, not as a special guest, I still have to pay to get in. Anyway, yeah, I'm going there on the Saturday to meet the voices of Team Ruby and Sun, so that should be very, very fun. And, if you're going to that, let me know. And if you see me there, again, I'm only there on the Saturday, feel free to say hello. Anyway, I'm just gonna wrap up there. So, thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and here's whatever outro I didn't use last time because I keep forgetting. Bye.
Hello loves, Tracer here. You've just watched a video by your only mate. Subscribe, like, comment and check out his other stuff. Cheers loves!